Good morning. Happy Monday. Breaking news. There is a new court document out in the Ryan Wesley Routh unaliving attempt on Donald Trump. I just wanted to give you some updates. So this is the interesting part. So it just says here, I'm reading from page 5, number 14 in the court document. When law enforcement discovered the license plate on the Nissan Xterra that was his, was not registered to the Nissan Xterra. During a search, they found 2 additional license plates. They also found 6 cell phones. One of the cell phones contained a Google search of how to travel from Palm Beach County to Mexico. The agents also found 12 pairs of gloves. That's an odd number of gloves. A Hawaii driver's license in the defendant's name, a passport in the defendant's name, and documents including the following: a handwritten list of dates in August, September, and October 2024, and venues where the former president had appeared or was expected to be present. Now I'm on the top of page 6 in the latest court filing. You can find it on the New York Times. That's where I printed it from. B, a notebook with dozens of pages filled with names and phone numbers pertaining to Ukraine, discussions about how to join combat on behalf of Ukraine, and notes criticizing the governments of China and Russia. 15, the FBI obtained cell site records for 2 of the cell phones found in the Nissan Xterra. The 2 cell phones are serviced by different carriers. The analysis showed Routh traveled from Greensboro, North Carolina area to West Palm Beach on August 14th. B, on multiple days and times from August 18th, 2024 to September 15, 2024, Routh's cell phone accessed cell towers located near Trump International and the former president's residence at Mar-a-Lago. So he was staking out Mar-a-Lago basically and Trump International, for quite some time. Then there's, the stuff they recovered with the AK weapon, and they have photographs of it. And then just as part of the investigation, also, I talked about this guy's manifesto that you could find on Amazon. It's called Ukraine's Unwinnable War, the Fatal Flaw of Democracy, World Abandonment, and the Global Citizen, Taiwan, Afghanistan, North Korea, World War III, and the End of Humanity. When the title is too long for 500, Alex. In the book, Routh stated that he, quote, must take part of the blame for the person that we elected for our next president that ended up being brainless. But I am man enough to say that I misjudged and made a terrible mistake. And Iran, I apologize. Okay, so we're apologizing to Iran. Continuing the quote, you are free to unalive Trump as well as me. Okay, for that error in judgment and the dismantling of the deal. No one here in the U.S. seems to have the balls to put natural selection to work, or even unnatural selection. Now, here's the even more interesting part. This is 18 on page 7. On September 18, 2024, law enforcement was contacted by a civilian witness who stated that Routh had dropped off a box at his residence several months prior. So several months before, Routh had dropped off a box and was like, hey, hold this for me. After learning of the September 15th, 2024 incident at Trump International, the witness opened the box. The witness stated the box contained ammunition, a metal pipe, miscellaneous building materials, tools, 4 phones, and various letters. Here comes the interesting stuff. One handwritten letter addressed to the world stated, among other things, quote, this was an unaliving attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. So just to say, he preemptively knew he was not going to succeed, it seems. Okay, continuing the quote. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job, and I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete this job. You may ask, where would he have that money? I did note when I was reading a huge Washington Post article about him, it's quite informative, that he had recently sold his house for like 170 something thousand. The witness took a photograph of the first page of the handwritten letter as shown, and that's included in the court documents. but it's hard to read his handwriting. The handwritten letter above goes on to state in part, quote, he, meaning the former president, ended relations with Iran like a child, and now the Middle East has unraveled. So on or about December 20, 2002, Routh was convicted in Greensboro, North Carolina, of possession of a weapon of mass destruction, which was an explosive device. So this is, again, what is going on in court today is an argument for not letting this guy out on bail based on what I'm reading here. I think that is more than fair for everyone's safety.